I'm going to give you a little bit of history on the real estate here in Frigate Bay and the surrounding area, so you can kind of get a picture of when all this property development started happening here. Also wanted to tell you that of course, most people know that they've got a Citizenship by Investment program here. They've had it. It started around 1984, right after the breakup of the connection, as St. Kitts was an overseas territory of the UK, and then they became, their own country, and now they're considered, becoming a republic, which I did a separate video on that. But I'm going to talk to you more on the properties, how they've actually developed here over the time and span of just not too long, just a few years. Also, folks, if you want to legally get your income taxes to zero, how to get a second passport as quick as 45 days, do three things. Hit the subscribe button, the right of your screen, you get new videos automatically. We've got over 700 videos. And I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. Number 3 is go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. Okay, now, just to tell you a little bit about how fast it's grown here just in Frigate Bay, there's actually no partial land, big tracts that are here in St. Kitts now, in Frigate Bay of St. Kitts. Just to give you a little bit of history, you could go back to the 1970s. I was just talking to a guy next door to me who moved back to St. Kitts in the U.S. And he was telling me, in fact, they used to hunt out here. They used to hunt dove out here. You can't do that now. The doves are all over the place out here, though. But this was the big hunting ground. There was nothing here in the 1970s. It was just barren. All these houses here, none of these houses were here in the 1970s. All this has been developed just in the, in fact, about the first houses started to get built here around the latter part of the 1970s, early 80s, right in there, 1980s. And now there's almost no land of this out here that's open, except there's lots, but there's no large tracts. All the large tracts are taken up. I mean, this is how fast it's grown. Now, you can see up on this hilltop here, all the way across, the house has been built up. One thing I did want to tell you is if you go to the Southeast Peninsula, which you can't really see that much from here, except the hilltops. I'll just kind of branch the hilltops way over here. The Southeast Peninsula, there was no road down there until the 1980s. I mean, this is how, and now, of course, they're building up down there now. They're a lot more expensive down there than they are in Frigate Bay. But there was nothing down there. You had to get to south. If you want to go to the Southeast Peninsula, you had to take a boat down there. And then, of course, as soon as they put the road going all the way down the Southeast Peninsula, the highway there, it's not really a highway, it's like a, it's a winding road. The land prices went through the roof after that road was built. But if you come into St. Kitts, what you'll notice is when you come in, you'll see a lot of land when you're flying in, coming to the airport. And the reason there's so much land is they did away with the sugarcane industry here about 15 years ago. This was a big sugarcane, this was the big industry here, and it just became very unprofitable because there were other places that could market sugarcane so much cheaper, and the price had dropped so much, it was being subsidized by the government. It just wasn't worth, marketing sugarcane anymore. But what happened was it left a lot of land. Man, if you fly over St. Kitts, it's a lot different than most of your Caribbean islands. You'll see a lot of land, and most of it is in the around the northern end of the island, to the center, back towards the north. Now, there's not much out there. You don't have major grocery stores out there, but they're eventually going to have all that stuff. And what they're doing is the first Citizenship Development was put in around 2005 out in that area, and that was Belmont was one of the first ones. And then they've had some other ones out there on the end, Contition Hill. Now they've got the Ramada on the other, also on the northern part going back towards Sandy Point. But you know, it's what's happening is they're gradually developing the whole part of the country now, and you're going to see everything become like, eventually like Frigate Bay, okay? And of course the land prices will be through the roof. They've already gone up a lot here in Frigate Bay, and now they're starting to make their moves going up because now in fact, you don't even have to wear a mask in the grocery stores here anymore. A lot of people have asked me about that, and so this is about what it was before the coronavirus hit. I mean, it's pretty much you know, you still have to quarantine it if you're not vaccinated and you're not a citizen, you're not a resident. You still cannot come down, but the way to get around that is to get citizenship before you come down, because you can do that without visiting the country, and then you can just come down whenever you want. But they still have that restriction. I think they're going to eventually lift that. I think somebody was telling me the other day, I didn't verify this, but there's still about 150 cases of COVID here on the island. I'm not hearing anybody dying from it though. Not like we had before, and we had very few people die from it anyway, but I'm just not hearing anything from it now. And of course the masks are not required. I think they're required with government workers and stuff, but if you go in grocery stores and public places, don't require it anymore. So but the thing about the country here is it's growing really fast. Eventually what you're going to see is the other parts, when they start putting grocery stores out there, it will start to get like Frigate Bay. Now, as I've told you before in many videos, Frigate Bay, in my opinion, is for the money, is the best place to go to, because what happens is, whether you're buying citizenship property or not, and the reason I say that is, you skip the land alien holder license fee by buying in Frigate Bay if you're not a citizen. So, you know, the other places you have to pay a 10% land alien holder license fee if you're not a citizen. There are a few places that are exempt, and all citizenship by investment, no matter where they're at, properties, they're exempt from it too. But that's one advantage that you've got when you buy in Frigate Bay. But it's close to the grocery stores. The move is going out. Still being, of course, most of your citizenship properties are still being bought in Frigate Bay, of all the places. But there's just more developments here, and people just want to be close to the beaches. I mean, that's quite understandable. When you go away from the beaches, more difficult. You're not going to have the price increases as much. So you want to try to stick close to your beach areas. This is a main thing I would tell you. But yeah, it's just, there was nothing out here. And you can see here, up on this hilltop here, they're just, you have a few lots that are for sale up here. Of course, these lots are starting to really go up, and we've got several right up on this hilltop here. About 4 of them have incredible views, and you can custom build your house the way you want to. But as time goes on, even that's getting less and less. There's just very few places to build, and almost nothing if you're doing large tracts. I mean, there's nothing in Frigate Bay right now. And there is nothing in the future, because everything's been built out. The closest areas that you could get, there are some over here on the Southeast Peninsula. There are large tracts, but the lots are going to be a lot more expensive when you subdivide them. But they do have some knockout views down here in the Southeast Peninsula, and they do have some large tracts still down there, very expensive. But a lot cheaper than St. Bart's. To give you an example, properties that are here in St. Kitts that are selling for 15 US a square foot on land. You'll spend about, well, I can tell you for what you'd spend for about 150 to 200,000 for a lot down here for land. That same land in St. Bart's, which on a clear day you can see right out here about 50 miles away, would run you around 4 million US. I mean, that's how expensive it is, the difference. And that's why I say the prices out here are so much underpriced compared to St. Bart's. And they are actually the cheapest of any of the areas around here. They're cheaper than Antigua and Barbuda. But one of the biggest things that's nice is, you know, there's no income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax. And once they did away with the income tax back in the early 1990s, that plus the Marriott was the first structure to get put in, which is over this way. Once the Marriott was put in 2003, that's when everything started taking off. And then from that point forwards, people started coming to stay in the Marriott, seeing what it looked like down here, found out there's no income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax. And then what happened was it just started, the floodgates started opening up. More and more people were moving in, and this changed the whole development here. Anyway, folks, if you want to learn more on this, again, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. And again, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen. We've got over 700 videos where you can pick up really good tips. You look at this before you come down. This is where you're going to pick up a lot of good things to make a decision. And I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below. And again, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. And I'll look forward to talking to you next.